Welcome back to Vegas Pulse Stories from the Back of the House. Today's show is a bit different. We're going to be talking to one of the premier ventriloquists, comedians, actress, television star, just about everything you can think of in show business. She's done it. Her name is April Brucker, and she's here with us right now. Hello, April.
Hi, how are you? I love the romantic mood lighting. I'm just going to say it.
We like to do it this way. It brings more out of everybody, I think, in some way.
Yeah. I feel like I'm back in an old film noir. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so bring on the questions.
Okay, here we go. Well, you wrote this book. It's called Don't Read My Lips.
Uh-huh.
The camera can see it. And it's a great book. I got a chance to read most of it. I'm kind of a speed reader.
Yeah, you're very good, yes.
But you take us through the trials and tribulations of being a ventriloquist, or, as you call it, a vent. Mm-hmm. Now, that's the first time I've heard of that. But I guess it's rampant throughout your business.
Yeah, vent is short for ventriloquist, and of course, sometimes I always say when I vent about ventriloquism, I'm complaining about my art form, so that's my little joke about it.
Now, a little bit of the history of ventriloquism, just to get people, just a few seconds.
Actually, when people are like, well, what's the history of ventriloquism? When I was writing this book, and I wrote this book during the pandemic, I went down the research rabbit hole, and the first ventriloquists were actually dead talkers. Mm-hmm. And in ancient cultures, a lot of non-white cultures, whether it's African or Maori, there was this belief that the souls of the deceased, when they left, lived in your gut. And so when somebody was throwing their voice during a ceremony, it was a deceased. And so everybody thought that ventriloquists could talk to the dead.
And that's how it started.
Yeah, that's how it started. And there was a guy in the 1860s in France, and I talk about him in my book, who did a show, and this is when they were still burying people alive. This is getting dark, but you want it gritty.
Well, that's all right.
And he did a show where the souls of the dead, or the dead people, would call up from the ground, and people would come and see him, and it freaked him out, but he was very good. So that's actually the origin. So if ventriloquism scared you, it's going to scare you more now.
So where were you when you first got scared about ventriloquism, or you thought it was something you wanted to do?
Well, the funny thing is that I always liked puppets, and I always liked scary movies, and I was always kind of the kid that liked morbid, macabre things. And so when I was growing up in Bethel Park, and it's a little town right outside of Pittsburgh, go Steelers, I was watching a football game, or the football highlights, because my brother played. And it was Friday night. My dad hated commercials. He changed the channel. An Edgar Bergen TV special was on, and I had my great-grandmother's Sideways Irish Smile, and what happened, Mr. Hand? She was the only one that could do it. Oh, Mr. Hand, that was obnoxious. Sorry, I used to tell my dad, talk to the hand growing up.
That's the first thing you did was the hand?
Well, I was running
hand?
around the house with my mouth closed, and I was making my dad, actually, I did. I told my dad to talk to the hand, and I used to tell him that a lot. But now the hand had a character. Well, anyway, that Christmas, my mother got me a Groucho Marx puppet. And so I was always the weird one in the family, and I became even weirder. So that's all she wrote.
We're going to come right back after we take this first break. We'll have a nice segment to talk about a few other things that are in your book. I want you to teach me how to be a ventriloquist. Can you do that?
Of course.
Well, we'll try anyway. I can hardly talk anymore, but I don't know about throwing my voice. But there's some other good anecdotes that you want to say, and a lot of them I read in your book.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, we'll be right back right after this. We're back with April Brucker, who is a ventriloquist, and so many other things. You have such an experience. You're on Broadway. You've been on a million television shows. You've done so much. And the reason is?
Hello, excuse-moi. I am the reason April's done these things.
Mae Wilson, my roommate, everybody.
We met on Craigslist where all the good things happen. So anyway, enough about you. Let's talk about moi. So, what are you doing later?
May. I'm sure his wife is watching.
So what? Lately she's into girls that are stuffed and unstrung.
May, behave.
So you want to know about Vegas? Well, a sugar lately.
May.
And I'm looking for a sugar daddy. So Las Vegas, here I come. How old are you?
Too old for you. Or maybe too young, I'm not sure.
Well, are you like in your 70s?
80s.
80s. Okay, well, call me in 10 more years.
I will. Is that your alter ego?
May Wilson, yes. And May has had quite a time here in Vegas.
I love this city, as a matter of fact.
Uh-huh.
I was partying all week. Woo!
You designed that after yourself.
Well, the way I designed May Wilson, believe it or not, it was after two people. One was a girl that was really mean to me in 7th grade, like mercilessly mean. And I'm actually grateful that bullying is getting more of the time and attention that it deserves, because this girl was cruel. I mean, and life's been really mean to her.
As a matter of fact, she looks just as mean as she is. You know, she looks like she hit the road and the road hit back. Okay, maybe nice. But still, hello, I'm not inviting her to party, okay?
And the other girl that she's based off of is actually a friend of mine. And this girl was cheerleader captain, but was friends with everybody. And her goal in life was to marry a rich doctor. And she did. She married a rich doctor, and she never has to work again.
And everybody used to say that, you know, she should have worked harder in school. I disagree. She's a genius. Hello. Get me on that program.
So, May, do you want to marry a rich doctor?
All the time. As a matter of fact, I want to marry a rich doctor because, you know, I need some plastic surgery done. Holla.
Being your alter ego, I want to ask, do you want to marry a rich doctor?
Well, I'm just desperately looking for Mr. OK.
Mr. OK.
April, what are you doing on TV looking for a random man from Oklahoma?
This is what I got to live with all the time. But May, you know, but actually I was engaged at one point. And he made me choose between him and the puppets.
Loser. Oh, okay, May.
Well, I think that'd be a winner immediately. The puppet's going to win that particular thing, right?
Well, and here's the thing. For a while, I chose him.
Mistake.
And I put her under the bed, and I wanted to be a good girlfriend and wife. And so after a year, the relationship had other problems. Shocker. And I got May out from under the bed, and I said, May, I miss you.
And I said, April, I'm getting bugs, and not the fun kind like Kim Kardashian gets.
So anyway, I walked into the kitchen with May Wilson on my arm, and May, what did you say to him?
I said, April's chosen. You said it was between her and the Cockets? Well, she chose the Cockets, and guess what? I still can't see your Mr. Johnson. Sayonara.
Is that real?
Yeah, it did.
He had to make a choice between you or the puppets.
Yeah, and I ultimately chose May Wilson. And so a year later, we just dedicated every moment that God sent to becoming the best comedians we could be.
Well, I was already good, but April needed some work.
And we were performing at a flea market in Brooklyn, New York. And you got into a fight with a homeless guy.
Yeah, but, you know, he couldn't take a joke. I said, smell you later. He took it personally.
So anyway, fast forward, this guy comes up to us and says, hey, can I take your picture?
And I said, sure, I'm ready for my close-up.
Mr. DeVille?
Of course, yes.
And he was very handsome, took our picture, and I was telling him about my fiance, and he said, well, my girlfriend doesn't always get the camera. And so I was heartbroken.
But it only made me try even harder.
I know, May. But anyway, a year later, we get a phone call. Hey, is it true you left your fiance for your puppets? And I'm like, what? They said, yeah, our casting assistant's boyfriend took your photo a year ago. And I said, that was part of it.
And I said, it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. Where do I have to go?
And so then we ended up on My Strange Addiction, and it's streaming worldwide on Hulu, on Paramount Plus, and if you pull up the graphic,
somebody on there looks familiar, and that's me. Actually, it's the both of us, May. But I'm on there. I'm a star. So enough about that. What are you doing later? Can you advance my career?
I'm going to be home busy with my wife.
May, he's going to be busy with his wife.
So,
okay. Sorry, I am so sorry about her. Sorry.
Do you find yourself getting lost in your own puppers where you become them and they become you in some kind of way?
Well, everybody always asks me, April, have you seen the movie Magic? And that's kind of about that. And sometimes the characters do give you inspirations in the middle of the night. I'll be sitting there and I'll come up with something. For instance, all my characters have a backstory. May, where are you from?
Pocatello, Idaho.
Because of the song Born in a Trunk. And, the song by Judy Garland, right? Born in a Trunk. And so, May, you were telling people you were from
Pocatello, Idaho. And you know who else is from Pocatello, Idaho? John Katsoulides, a.k.a. Johnny Katz.
Johnny Katz.
Yeah, and so she made a connection. And May, do you have any siblings?
Yes, I have a sister named June.
Wait, May, you have a sister named June?
Yeah, and we don't talk.
That's not good. Life is short. You should talk to your sister.
No, she's a mime.
Wait, your sister June is a mime?
Yeah, and a selfish one. She always had to pick the hardest word for a ventriloquist to say.
If I wanted to be a ventriloquist, tell me what the first thing I want to say is you gave them a cute name. What is it? Felt Americans?
Textile American, but thank you.
What is it again?
Equal pay for caucus.
Yeah, Felt Americans. Is that right?
Yeah, Textile Americans, yes.
Yeah, that's kind of
Felt
cute.
American, Textile American, yeah.
That's because there's felt puppets in this. I don't want to insult you, May, but there are felt puppets and wooden puppets as well.
Listen, I dated Pinocchio. I know all about that, okay?
This is what I got to live with. But May, we don't want to hear about Pinocchio.
Good, because he's my ex and he still owes me money and he gave
It
me
was made of
splinters.
wood, There might be some advantage to that.
Yeah, there was, but then there wasn't. I can't talk about it on the air. Pinocchio, I should have had your wooden love child. I'd still be making money.
Let's talk about the technique of being a ventriloquist. A vent. How do you throw your voice? How do you do that? What kind of practicing do you need, and how do you practice that?
Well, you get a good partner. That's what you do.
May, he's talking to me. What you do is you just keep practicing. The first thing you do is, do you want me to give you a lesson on the air?
Yes.
Okay, smile. Use your hand.
Use my hand.
Yes. And without moving your lips, try to say hello.
Hello.
Very good. You're pretty good.
I did it?
Yeah, you're so good that I might just jump on your arm right now.
Uh-huh.
And you just keep practicing, but the other thing you do is it's easier with a puppet on your arm, and you start to muffle your voice, and so it starts to sound like two different voices. For instance, I say, I'm April.
And I say, I'm Leigh Wilson. And doesn't it look like I'm real?
Mm-hmm.
Well, 'cause I am. Hello.
Yeah, and then you start to talk to them, and the more you just treat your hand or whatever you have like it's real, the more real it becomes and the easier it is to throw your voice.
Is it true, without insulting May, is it true that May started as a dirty sock?
Yes, it actually is.
You still have that sock?
Well, that sock is no longer around because guess what? I am now a star.
Actually, May, tell them how you started out.
You see, April's sister had a Charlie McCarthy doll that she wasn't using.
Yeah, that's right.
And so they said to April, you need a character that looks like you, but only better looking. So yeah, my name used to be Charlie McCarthy. Holla!
And we're back on Vegas Pulse, stories from the back of the house. The back of the house today is what goes on behind the scenes in the ventriloquism business, if that is a word or a business at all. Vents, which I like the way I like that. You've been on so many different television shows. When you were on the radio show this last week, we talked about the one that you were on, Judge Jerry.
Yeah, Judge Jerry, yep.
Give us a little background on what happened with Jerry Springer and how
Okay.
he affected your career.
And, okay, back in the day when I was way young and way green, they had a segment on Rachel Ray called Audience Has Talent. And, and I answered an ad. They asked me if I wanted to be on. So I went on. I did my thing. He was the host of America's Got Talent at the time. And he said, you're great, but you're no Terry Fader. And so anyway.
He said that to you?
Yes. Yeah. And, because Terry Fader had just won America's Got Talent. And, and he's a talented guy. I'll say it. Well, anyway, fast forward several years later, we did a show here in town, and there was a contract to perform, where Mae Wilson was suing the promoter. We ended up on Judge Jerry. But here's the thing. I took the advice Jerry Springer gave me during that appearance, and I worked to become the best ventriloquist that I could be, to where I had appeared on television several times. I appeared in New York City. I appeared in LA. I was doing a show in Vegas. And so when I appeared before him with Mae Wilson, I said, hey, thank you for being tough on me back in the day. You got me to the next level. And he was so very nice. And the world is lesser without Jerry. And the people that work for him were delightful too.
Well, he was Judge Jerry there, but he was famous, of course, for his Jerry Springer show, which was trash television.
Yes, but he was His Honor, the mayor of Cincinnati.
That's right.
That. Yes.
He got voted in as the mayor. That's amazing. Do you write your own material?
All the time. And I write my material based off of people that I meet, but also ideas that I have. And now that I'm in Vegas, I just have so much inspiration from all the entertainers that I'm meeting, and I'm fans of the old stuff, the new stuff, red stuff, blue stuff, as they say. You can tell I have two nieces. I read a lot of Dr. Seuss.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-oh.
well, hello. You look like somebody famous.
He looks familiar.
Yeah, you look familiar. You look like somebody, but you're not. Well, Mr. Las Vegas is my second cousin, twice removed. Twice removed? Yes, you see, I've been removed once by casino security, and I've been removed once by the Clark County Department of Health. So I'm Dwayne Newton at your service. Mwah. So you're Dwayne Newton? Yes. I'm Mr. Almost Las Vegas. Almost Las Vegas. Thank you very much. So, you look familiar too. April's talked about you. I've seen you somewhere too.
Amazing. Ron Garrett.
Yes, Ron Garrett. So Ron Garrett. So this is Ron Garrett. Good. I like to know the names of the people that are going to make me famous. Okay, Dwayne. So, but speaking of famous, have you ever met your famous cousin? Well, yes, I have. He gave me his autograph once. Autograph? That's great. It was big and gold at the bottom of the restraining order. I see. And are you doing any shows now? Well, I got hopes and I got dreams, Ron, because that's what Vegas is made of. But when they get a gaming license, I hope to appear at Whole Foods. But for now, you can see me at the supermarket slot parlor at Kroger's. The supermarket slot parlor at Kroger's. Clean up Canal 5. Sorry, I'm still on the clock.
Has Wayne Newton ever seen this act?
I don't know if Mr. Las Vegas himself has seen the act, but Dwayne, how are things going at Kroger's? They're going very well. As a matter of fact, my shift is from 12 to 3. 12 to 3. They call me the nap time idol. The nap time idol. But you see, crowds at Kroger's aren't what they used to be. Why do you say that? Well, you see, when I say to somebody, hello, little darling, she runs away. And what else happens? Well, I have a lady that I like. A lady that you like? Yes, as a matter of fact, I wrote a song about her. It's called Hello, Hot Wheels. Is she a racer? No, she has an electronic motor scooter. And so, how are things with your agent, Morty? They were a little slow, but then he got paroled.
Does Wayne know about this? I want to ask you that question.
I'm not sure if Wayne knows about it, but it would be nice if he did, It would be nice. And Dwayne, would you like to do a show with Mr. Las Vegas? All the time, I'd say, Dunkashane, darling, Dunkashane.
Did you ever try out? I'm sorry. Go ahead, finish, Wayne. I didn't mean
darling,
to.
Dunkashane.
Did you ever try out for America's Got Talent or American Idol?
I have tried out for America's Got Talent a few times, but I've always had a conflict. I've always had another engagement. So maybe one day. And have you ever tried out for American Idol? Well, I think I'm going to be the next American Idol. And Ron Garrett, I have a special song for you. Here goes. Ron Garrett is the best. He is better than the rest. Ron Garrett, Dunkashane. Clean up Canal 5. I got to get back to the
Thank you, Dwayne, and we appreciate you being on the Vegas Pulse.
Thank you. And they're lynching on name when you'll get half off on watermelon.
And we'll be right back after this. And we're back for the final segment of Vegas Pulse, Stories from the Back of the House. I'm speaking with April Brucker, and she has a story about your transition to Las Vegas from where you were.
Yeah, I worked really hard in New York City. I delivered singing telegrams to support my ventriloquism. I also was off-Broadway and Murdered by the Mob. I ended up getting an MFA in creative writing after going to NYU. So I worked hard. And my hard work brought me to Las Vegas for a residence show. So my first property that I was in, I have a puppet called Donald J. Tramp. And I didn't bring him today because I didn't want to get too political. But the GM of this property that I won't name, but it rhymes with a children's toy. You can get it if you know Vegas. Anyway, long story short, he was afraid of the political nature. So the promoter said, I have a different hotel for you. But before we do the hotel, I want to do 2 preview weekends of your show, April Unwrapped. That was the name of the show, at the Notoriety with Ken Henderson. So I did 2 great weekends. Crowds were great. Everybody did, everything was great. Then all of a sudden, COVID-19 is trending on Twitter. Uh-oh. And so I'm driving down the street, and bam, it hits that the world has shut down. Everybody's panicking. Suddenly everybody's hoarding toilet paper. And that's all she wrote. And so that's when I wrote my book, Don't Read My Lips, because here's the thing. Life throws you lemons, you get lemonade, Mm-hmm. But this business is about surviving. And I always say that if there is something up there, and I don't want to get too religious or philosophical, I call it development, because you send a script to development and it gives you its changes back. And you got to roll with the changes life gives you in your script.
Are you where you want to be?
I'm not quite where I want to be yet, but it's a start. I'm never where I want to be. I'm a restless spirit that always goes for more. But I can say this, if I could go back in time and show little April all the things that I'm doing now, I think she'd be very thrilled.
Do you feel comfortable that you're going to get where you want to be? Where do you want to be? Do you want to have your own network TV show? I know you have a local show.
I want to take over the world, Ron.
All right, that's a pretty good aim.
Yeah, I want to take over the world. And, and I just feel that the world's not that big, honestly. And when I was going around the world, because the Daily Mail did an article on me and it went viral, all the way from England to Iceland to Italy, Russia to China, India, Ghana to Nigeria to Kenya, Colombia to Brazil to Guatemala. That's right, I'm a celebrity in Guatemala.
Fantastic.
I know. And I would Google myself and I would see myself written in a different language. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is awesome. But here's the thing. I'm in Vegas now, and it's been a huge step for me towards going global, because Las Vegas is the most visible brand name in the world.
Has anything happened to you in Vegas that you felt hurt your career?
I've never had anything that quote-unquote hurt my career. I've had a lot of people in a lot of places try to quote-unquote take me down. But here's the thing, because people are always trying to take you down. I've always managed to move forward, and that's why I'm still in this business. And a lot of being in this business is about being a survivor.
We want to mention your manager, Clinton Billups.
Yes, Clinton.
Who's here in the room with us today.
Yeah, Clinton Ford Billups Jr., who, every time I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. How am I going to do this? He's like, listen, you have there's a plan A, but you got to have a plan B, C, D, E, and that's part of his guidance has given me a lot of longevity.
In the future, you have any plans for any major? Do you want to be in a major hotel in a major showroom?
Yes, I do. I'm developing a resident show right now called Dummies After Dark, and I want to be in a major showroom and a major property. And as a matter of fact, I have somebody from Old Vegas that might be helping to get me there. Come on, Vinny.
Who is that?
Yo, you didn't tell me that I was gonna be on camera.
Wait. We talked about this.
You know that I don't like being recorded.
This is Vinny 2 times.
Yeah, Vinny 2 times.
Vegas mobster?
You got it in witness protection.
So why did they call you Vinny 2 times?
'Cause in my old life, I only had to tell them twice.
And by the way, I like your wand.
I don't like it. It's no good. You see, the U.S. Marshals gave it to me when they took away my baseball bat.
So you work as a magician now.
Yeah, but I'm a wise guy.
You're a wise guy.
Want to hear a joke?
Sure.
How many casino security guards does it take to throw a slot cheat off the roof?
How many?
None. He fell. Accidents happen.
April, thank you so much for appearing on Vegas Pulse.
Thank you. And I just want to say,
And,
this is a very
and
nice
Vinny
show.
over here.
Yes, and folks, check out my show, April in Vegas.
And also your website?
aprilbrooker.tv.
Thank you all for watching Vegas Pulse Stories from the Back of the House. We've been talking with April Brucker, and what a great job she's doing, and how terrific her mastery. How do you say that?
Well, mastery. I can't
That
talk
word,
yet,
yeah, I
man.
can't even say it. I bet the puppets can do it better than
Oh,
me.
the puppets can do everything better than me, trust me.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.